Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars, before we get to the gossip, let me remind you that we will not be having top of the blogs next week because I'm going on vacation. I am going to commit to doing the reviews for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC, and Real Housewives of Atlanta. But after that, no more videos for the week, and I'm gonna try to get those up, edited and up to you guys by Monday, okay, of next week. And then the following week, the schedule will be a little off again because I'll just be getting back. But yeah, you guys, I'm looking forward to my vacation, and I don't want to have to be fooling with top of the blog. So today is it. Okay, I just wanted to remind you guys, and I know somebody is still going to be asking where the video is and trying to send me suggestions and everything, but I'm hoping that you guys will remember that Rocky will not be available next week. The door is closed. And hopefully when I get back, I'll be all refreshed and ready to, tackle all the new shows that's coming on in June. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know. Put that in your calendars. You won't see Rocky for top of the blogs next week. All right, you guys, first story up. So this might not be big news if you aren't in Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm telling you, every day for the last couple of days, when the news comes on, this story is opening up the news. And that will be the arrest of prominent Atlanta rapper Young Thug. Okay, mama named him Jeffrey Williams, also Gunna. Mama named him Sergio Giovanni Kitchens. You guys know these are Grammy Award nominated artists. Well, at least I know that Young Thug is. And definitely Gunna's time right now. Just last week, I was telling you guys how much I liked his outfit that he wore to the Mets ball, right? Well, what a difference a week makes. Okay, just a week later, he has turned himself in. Young Thug was arrested at his Buckhead home, and Gunna, made arrangements to turn himself in to the authorities. Young Jock, not Young Jock, although we'll talk about him later. Young Thug is charged with 2 alleged counts, okay, conspiring to violate the RICO Act and participating in street gang activity. And this was part of a sweeping indictment. I think they said 28 people were arrested in a 56-count grand jury indictment here in Georgia, okay? These 28 people were allegedly a part of the Atlanta-based YoungThugLife gang, okay, YSL, which the authorities are saying that he created, Young Thug created that back in 2012. This is probably before he became Young Thug. Allegedly, they're saying he founded this street gang back in 2012. This is a gang that is a branch of the National Blood Gang. YSL is also the name of his record imprint. Okay, Young Stoner Life. And many of the charges are all intertwined with his record label, his imprint, I should say, and this supposed street gang activity. I was listening to the story when he got arrested, and I was just like, I just cannot understand how you become a young thug and you are still partaking in street gang activity. I mean, I don't know how many people have said to leave their life alone once you become, this entertainment, this celebrity. Why are you still dabbling? Either do the street thing or come all the way over into your legit and legal life and make your money, so that you don't have to go to jail. You're not gonna go to jail making rap songs. But yeah, they said that he was still involved. Supposedly he's one of the leaders of the gang, of the YSL gang. And they're saying that gang has been part of murders and robberies and a number of things that have happened around Atlanta. And yeah, they're tying Young Thug to it. Supposedly he rented a car back in 2015. And that car was used in a murder. Okay. So that's how they've tied him to this situation. Of course, he has obtained a high-power lawyer, Mr. Brian Steele, who said on the news the other day that he was going to fight this until his last drop of blood. I was just like, boy, you he was real dramatic on that. But he said, you know, he is maintaining that Young Thug has not done anything illegal, and that he will, you know, he will be found innocent. 2015 was quite a while ago. Okay, I know from watching enough TV shows and movies that the feds will let you build the case yourself. They will continue to watch you, and they will, you know, give you enough rope to hang yourself. And then when they know they have all of the evidence that they need, they swoop in and they do a 28 member arrest like this. That is how they have tied him into this YSL gang activity. As far as Gunna apparently is assigned to Young Thug's label, and so I guess he's gotten pulled into this mess as a result of being affiliated with the, I mean, you know, it's the label, it's the gang name, YSL, you know. Yves Saint Laurent is over there like, now how I get in all of this? I know them designers just be like, boy, they hate when niggas get to using their name. Now you've got YSL, even though we know for a fact that it's not the designer, you know. But still, you know. But anyway, I was watching on the news, and now they're trying to figure out if you guys know that Young Thug's baby mama, one of his baby mothers, was just killed. I told you guys about it in top of the blogs at a bowling alley out here. Apparently the story was that she got into an argument with a guy in the bowling alley over a bowling ball, of all things. It sounded so trivial and random to me at the time that I don't know if I always 100% believed that story, but there was no reason for me not to, but it just sounded like something wasn't right, you know. But they were saying that it was over a bowling ball. Now they're saying that they're checking you know, they are trying to see if this death was caused by the affiliation of this gang with you know, some gang activity was going on in these Atlanta streets. There's also talk that the YSL gang has issues with the YFN gang. If you guys remember YFN Lucci, who is in jail right now, apparently there was an attempt on his life. It did not happen, and members of the YSL gang had asked for permission to you know, go at him again, try to get him while he's in jail. Now I think I read somewhere that Lucci got stabbed in jail or something. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like I've seen that. It's been so much over the last few days with this that, you know, I'm just trying to keep up with the story. But the main story is that both of them have been arrested. I think they're trying to see about getting bail set for both of them, trying to get them bonded out. I don't think that has happened as of right now. I guess depending on, you know, their level of involvement with whatever the charges is whether or not they'll even be able to get bonded out. But they're saying that they were connected to crimes such as 2 murders, 11 attempted murders, robberies, and drug sales. So this is a serious charge against all of them, and you just be hearing these stories about, I mean, Young Thug had a beautiful home in Buckhead, and, you know, like, you've made it. And it's a shame that he's been pulled into this. I mean, we'll see whether or not, because it's not against the law to rent a car. It's not against the law to rent a car. And I suppose, and this is just me coming off the top of my head, I ain't even a real rock star lawyer or nothing, but I'm sure it'll be more involved than this. But I'm saying that you can just say, like, well, he rented a car for his homeboy because he said he wanted, you know, he needed a car. Like, I didn't know he was going to go and kill somebody, you know. But the thing about these RICO charges, and when it's something serious as this, and when they're looking at a long time, people will start talking. So now we got everybody in jail, right? They're trying to make sure that they keep the YSL and the YFN people separate. But also you've got people that may be afraid, you know, have a lot to lose, whatever, start to talk. And then that's when all of the shit get to falling apart and we really find out what's what. So as of right now, we're just waiting to see what happens. When the police arrested Young Thug, they also raided his home. And now he has other charges on top of these RICO charges. I was like, y'all is cold as fuck. I mean, damn. Ain't it enough that this man got the RICO charges, honey? They was like, no, we about to get up in this house and we about to see what else they got in there. And he had a lot. All right. Let me read to you what they said. What they found in Young Thug's house: 20 bottles of YSL slime drink. Okay, that's the THC drink. 1,299 grams of marijuana. They also found 31 bottles of promethazine codeine syrup, a Schedule 5 controlled substance. They found a Glock 30S 45 caliber firearm, a Glock 357 firearm, a FN 57 firearm, a Glock 19 9mm firearm, a Smith & Wesson M&P firearm, and a fully automatic Glock 45 9mm handgun with an extended magazine with a converter switch. Now, the thing with the converter switch is that it attaches to the end of the Glock handgun and illegally transforms the regular semi-automatic gun into a fully automatic firearm, which are illegal. Okay. And I mean, it's not illegal to own guns. You could be a gun collector and you responsibly have all of these guns. But of course, I just told you about the illegal part of turning the semi-automatic into an automatic gun. But yeah, so he had all of this going on in the house. They said that when they've accused Gunna also of having drugs, methamphetamines in his home, and they've both been charged, I think, with intent to distribute. So that's on top of the RICO charges and everything. Now they've also got to talk about these drug charges that have been laid down on them. The federal government probably gonna take over all of this and probably just wrap it all up into one. Okay, but yeah, it's too bad. It is too bad. But we'll see. We'll see. But I'm telling you, when the minute you start hearing RICO and all of that, it don't usually leave a good feeling in your stomach. Now, we got Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's out trolling the streets once again. And we know that he talked. We'll see if Young Thug or Gunna or any of these other 28 members of the YSL imprint, the business, as Young Thug's father said that it was. We'll see if anybody else gets to talking. But yeah, man, it's scary. It's scary times. Like I was hurt for him, because I mean, I'm not no huge Young Thug fan, but I know my son loves Young Thug, loves his music and everything, and Gunna is just the name that you hear all over nowadays, and it's just too bad. It's like, you guys was there, you guys are there, and child is just didn't fell apart. Just didn't fell apart. So we'll keep our eye on it, and when I know more, I will let you know more. All right, you guys, next story up. So it seems that the ChrisPaul family was harassed at game number 4 as the Phoenix Suns played against Dallas Mavericks. This is the playoff time, remember? And they were playing game 4 in Dallas. And at some point during the game, there was a Dallas Mavericks fan that was there that got into a confrontation with ChrisPaul's mother and wife. Don't know exactly what happened, what led to this, but apparently the fan pushed the mom and the wife. Okay, so they kind of got into like a little shoving thing in the audience. They're sitting on the floor. ChrisPaul can see what's going on, and he was upset. So he is heard complaining to the authorities like, that motherfucker up there is harassing my family, like, go do something about it. So of course they did escort them out immediately. And ChrisPaul was hot though. He was like, hey, I'll see you later. Like, okay, like, don't let me catch your ass on the side of this building. Okay. It's about to be on. But yeah, you guys, I don't know what this new thing is with the fans really heckling the players and now their families. It's getting ridiculous. And besides the fact that they are getting banned from the venue, they really need to be arrested, because you can't just harass motherfuckers on the street just on a regular day. So it should be the same for these games and things like this. These fans are just fucking crazy. Direct whatever you got to do and whatever you got to say with the people that's playing the game. Why are you fucking with the family? And then 2 women as well, you know? I was just like, and then when he told him, I'll see you later, did you guys see the boy's face when he was looking all confused, like, well, I don't even know what I did. I was just like, motherfucker, child, these people are crazy. Folks are really crazy out there. And like I said, it did upset ChrisPaul. He ended up filing out of the game. ChrisPaul hasn't filed out of a game since like 2017, 2018. Okay, so he definitely was 100% off of his square. Like, because I'm sure he was very upset about what happened. And Dallas Mavericks said that they don't have any tolerance for this, you know, that they immediately escorted the guy out. I'm assuming that they're not going to let him back into the venue. But like I said, some charges need to be pressed. Because, damn it, you can't be pushing mama and my wife. You just can't be doing that. ChrisPaul was so upset that he tweeted after the game, you know, that you guys want to fine the NBA players for saying stuff to the fans, but then the fans can go and put their hands on the families. Okay, then he said, fuck that. Big capital letters. So, and you don't get these kind of responses from ChrisPaul, so you know that he must really be upset about it, which I totally understand, because you shouldn't have to go through this. You shouldn't have to see your family go through this, any of this. So these fans is going to catch the right one day. You know, I always think about the fights that happened up in the stands with the fans and things like that back in the day, even though nothing like that will probably ever happen again. But, you know, folks just think that they can just do and say whatever the fuck they want to do and say. It's unreal. But yeah, so the Suns ended up losing that game. It tied up the games, the wins at that time. I don't know where it is now, because this was last week, and so I'm sure they've had a game or two since. But hopefully his mom and his wife are okay, and ChrisPaul can get his head back in the game. Are they still in the game, y'all? Are they still playing? Or who's won that playoff cycle? Y'all let me know. All right, you guys, next story up. So there's been so much talk about Wendy Williams. There's been so much talk. You know, Wendy Williams has definitely came back out of her shell. Whether or not she's ready to be back out of that shell, it still remains to be seen, but she's out. Okay, and she's doing videos and interviews, and she's making it very clear that she wants to come back to the Wendy Williams show. She did an interview recently with Fat Joe. I don't know what Fat Joe was interviewing her for. Maybe was it for Revolt, or does he have his own podcast or something? I think he does have something of his own. Anyway, he is interviewing her, and he asked her if she missed, getting up and doing a show every day, and she said that, yeah, she definitely does. And he asked her, was she doing something different, or is she coming back to the Wendy Williams show? And she said, oh, yes, absolutely. Coming back to the Wendy Williams show for sure. Now, she could have meant when she said that whatever I do is still going to be the Wendy Williams show. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that she's going back to Bunham. Is that the name of the people that produce her show? It doesn't mean that she's going, in particular back to them. She could just be saying, I'm going to take the Wendy Williams show to somewhere else, okay? Everybody is saying podcast. I have heard that she's demanding a $100 million contract if she does go onto the podcast platform. However, they're saying that Spotify and iHeart are the two ones that they believe that, are considering putting Wendy Williams on her own show, but they are concerned about whether or not she's going to be up to doing a daily show, a daily podcast, or even a weekly podcast. Not sure if she's going to be able to hold up to the schedule, that she will show up for work, and fuck, $100 million. Bitch, we can't get too many of these. Hey, I'm not gonna make it in today, So I was like, well, maybe they can come up with, like, in the contract, give her a small amount with this other, with her getting like the balloon of the money at the end of whatever the season is, or however they do these podcasts. but maybe they can just kind of test it out first to see how she will do, and then have, all these contingencies where, if she does this, then she gets this, and, kind of just break it off to her at once. And don't give her that $100 million at the beginning. Y'all know how we do once we get that money, child. We might not show up or nothing. So, that's what I've been hearing. But anyway, in that interview that she did with Fat Joe, people are saying that she didn't look well. I mean, she kind of looks like she's been looking. So it just sort of depends on what you think is considered well looking for Wendy Williams. But she's been looking the same as she has been. Sherri Shepherd's, Sherri Shepherd, she ended up doing a live herself. And people were asking her questions, and they asked her if she, had seen what Wendy Williams had said about her, because apparently in the Fat Joe interview, he asked her about Sherri Shepherd. She said she will not be watching Sherri Shepherd. Okay. And so people asked Sherri Shepherd, and I just kind of felt like, okay, people always have the right to respond to shit that's said about them. So I give Sherri that. If you said something about me, I should be able to say something back about you. However, if Sherri realizes that Wendy Williams is not well, it seems like she might have just taken the higher road and just been like, I saw what she had to say, and that's just her opinion. But for her to go on and on about how she don't have any friends and people not around her, and she knows that Wendy doesn't like to be with other people, and she doesn't have friends, and she doesn't trust people. And that's not how Sherri runs her life. She talks to the celebrities that she, might mention on her show and all this. I was just sort of like, that's sort of like slick shade, oh, that's Wendy, how I do things, It's different for Wendy, because Wendy was considered like a shock jock. So most of the shit that Wendy has said about people has not been good. So I can imagine that she doesn't have many friends, at least as far as celebrity and entertainment world goes, because she's probably burned some bridges. People probably don't like her. And that's not a probably. We know that for a fact. It is hard when you do things like this, even in this, what I do, it can be uncomfortable. Like whenever you get into a situation when you start to be friends with the people that you talk about, it can sway you. It can bias you. And then it's uncomfortable to be around people that you've said some shit about, even if it was like, just in jest or just laughing or talking or whatever. But you've been talking about these people. You're not really going to be trying to be their friend now. And that's kind of why I've kept my distance. Like things go on here in Atlanta, and I kind of make it a point not to really get involved with that, because I don't want to be biased and start like giving people passes because I know them or feel obligated to doing that. And that probably keeps me from being able to really get out there and be, knowing all of these people. And because, I do have access to some of these folks. Like I do have access to some of these people, but I've just chosen not to, because it's not easy. It's easier for Sherri because Sherri doesn't have the same type of platform that Wendy had. Sherri's not talking about people, not bad. She ain't pissing motherfuckers off like that. So yeah, Sherri is more like, just your average host that can just get along with everybody. But Wendy Williams was something different. So, I'm not mad at Sherri for saying what she had to say, because I guess she felt like Wendy was coming at her. But I just felt like if you feel like she's not well, then that what she said was in her not well capacity, So you shouldn't be saying the things that she said, because nobody can tell me that she wasn't being slick. I'm sorry, she was. So I think it's clear Wendy Williams is not going back to the Wendy Williams show, at least not with the production company that Sherri Shepherd is now taking over the time slot and all that. They said that no, Wendy Williams is not coming back. and they don't know what Wendy is talking about. But I guess Wendy probably knows what Wendy is talking about. And I guess that's all that matters. But did you guys see the interview with Fat Joe? I mean, people said she didn't look well, but like I said, she looked like she looked at the Met Gala, and the way she looked when she was walking on the beach, and the way that she looked when she was talking about people being in her bank accounts, like she's looked the same to me. So, you know, anyway, that's just kind of how I feel about it. You guys let me know what you think. Did you think that Sherri Shepherd should have said what she said? Or do you think that maybe she could have taken the high road on her not well friend? Y'all let me know.